Brett, what's your first reaction to the new poll?
I'm not sure how many of these guys actually watch the games. I think they still rely on preseason rankings. You look at a couple of things that stand out. They've got USC at number 9 behind Baylor. Baylor's beat SMU and Northwestern State, which are not two of the strongest teams around. USC went on the road and won at Stanford. So what you're supposed to do, I vote in the AP poll, and they tell us, vote on the results that you have seen to this point. Don't rely on preseason rankings, propaganda, and all that. But it appears like that's what everybody's done. They had Baylor slotted higher before the year, so they keep Baylor up there. My top 5, I had Oregon first, Georgia second, Florida State third, A&M fourth, and LSU fifth, because all those teams have beaten what I consider top 25 teams. And that's why those are my top 5. Now, that may change throughout the year, but through the 2-week window, those are my top 5. They've ranked Virginia Tech this week at number 17. I had Virginia Tech at number 10. Virginia Tech goes on the road and wins convincingly at Ohio State. Yes, it was with Braxton Miller, but they're only number 17 because they weren't ranked before this week. So at least it's not as bad as the coaches poll. The coaches poll actually still has Ohio State ranked ahead of Virginia Tech, even though they lost on Saturday.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You raised some good points in terms of the eye test. Why should USC be behind teams? But, you know, USC did benefit from a lot of Stanford shooting itself in the foot. But I want to ask you about Oregon. Oregon took care of business at the end against Michigan State, but trailed at halftime, trailed in the third quarter. Why did you still think the Ducks are the number 1 team in the country?
I've got Oregon number 1 because basically they beat a team that nobody has been able to muster any offense against in the last 2.5 years. Michigan State had not allowed more than 28 points in their previous 28 games before playing Oregon. And Oregon has had trouble with power teams. They've lost 3 times against Stanford. They've lost to LSU. They've lost to Auburn. But they went in there and they did what they do best, and that's play quick, play fast, and Marcus Mariota was lights out. So I think based on that win and scoring the most points Michigan State's given up in over 2.5 years, that's the biggest quality win to this point, and that's why I give them the edge over Georgia, which was very impressive over Clemson. But it's just, you know, up to this point, again, a 2-week window, I put Oregon number 1. Last week I think I had Oregon like 7 or 8 because all they had played was an FCS school before that. I know how good they're supposed to be, but they hadn't proven it yet. They proved it to me on Saturday, and that's why I put them up at number 1.
All right, that is ESPN college football insider Brett McMurphy.